Okay, well, first of all, thank you very much, everybody, for waiting so patiently. It feels amazing to be back in the auditorium to do an event like this again, and I can sort of feel the anticipation in the air as we await to begin the competition. So first of all, I just wanted to say, again, welcome to everybody. Of course, this week we are celebrating Book Week, and what that means is we're going to be looking at how we can celebrate all of the amazing things that books and reading have to offer. And I know there's been lots and lots of fantastic events that have been going on throughout the week. However, today we are all focusing on our prose reading competition. Now, for those of you who remember, 2 years ago we began our prose reading competition, and it took place in the auditorium. Sadly, last year we weren't able to do it in the auditorium, but we're delighted to be able to welcome everyone back here today, and also to be able to welcome some very special judges. Now, in a moment, Miss Simi is going to give you some more information about how the format of today's competition is going to work. But I want to just first of all say a huge well done to everybody who's taking part. I know that everyone in Key Stage 2 has either done a rehearsal or a practice, but I want to say a special well done at the start to our finalists here today. I know that they've been busy practicing and rehearsing with teachers and learning assistants and their parents. And I know that they're perhaps a little bit nervous, but they're also really excited about showing you their public speaking skills today. And we're all really, really looking forward to the prose reading competition. I know that you're going to get behind them and give them lots of support as we go throughout this afternoon. Now, like I mentioned, we are going to be welcoming some important people this afternoon. Now, with any competition, we always do need some help with the judging. And so I'm going to introduce 3 judges who are going to help us with our prose reading competition today. So I'm going to introduce these to you now. So the first person I'm going to introduce you to may be someone who you might recognise around school. Mr. Hamish, or Mr. Farquharson, as he is known in the secondary school. Mr. Farquharson, he is a history teacher. He's also the assistant head of secondary school. He's had a long affiliation with public speaking. He was the secretary of the Senior Debating Society at Ampleforth College. He was also an active member at university of the Durham Union Society, and most recently he's been in charge of the debate union here at KTJ. So can you please give a round of applause for Mr. Hamish? Now, I'm particularly excited about announcing our second judge today, because we have decided to offer one of our former primary school students the opportunity to help be on our judging panel. So I'm going to introduce you in a moment to Aidan Disney. Now, Aidan is in the lower 6th, okay? Aidan actually joined the school, I think in 2016, he told me over lunch. And he was actually sat, I think he joined in year 5, so where some of our year 5 students are sat at the moment, he was actually joining the school at the same age as you, and he's gone right through KTJ into the 6th form now. Aidan has won many awards for his public speaking. He's an active member of the Debate Society as well, and we're really honoured to be able to have one of our former students to help us with our judging today. So can we please give a round of applause for Aidan? And finally, I'd like very much to introduce you to our third and head judge today, and it gives me enormous pleasure to welcome her back. It's been amazing. It's been a long 2 years, but it's been fantastic to be able to invite not only one of our governors and our trustees of the school, but also somebody who has dedicated their life towards many aspects of public speaking, alongside many other things. She has been the chairwoman, of the English Speaking Union of Malaysia, and she's also shown an outstanding commitment to the KL Speakers Club as well. So it gives me great pleasure. Can I please ask everybody to stand up, please? And I'd like to introduce you to Yang Amat Mulia Tunku Dara Tunku Tan Sri Nakir. Round of applause, please. Thank you, so you're very welcome today, and we hope you enjoy the competition.
Firebird, a Russian folk tale. Dressed in a long robe and scarlet cloak, he towered above them all. Ivan drew his sword and rushed at him, slashing at the demons that leaped to defend their master. Silverwolf jumped from the shadows to help, snapping and snarling. Kochi laughed. "You can kill me, little prince," he mocked. "I have hidden my soul outside my body. I am 1,000 years old. I am Kochi, the Deathless." "Look in the old tree stump, Silverwolf," hissed at Ivan. "You'll find a box hidden there. Run!" But before Ivan could move, Kochi raised his arms. Ivan felt a terrible numbness in his legs. A gust of wind billowed under Prince Ivan's cloak. The Firebird's feather fluttered out, brushing his stony feet.
By Ted Hughes. The Iron Man came to the top of the cliff. How far did he walk? Nobody knows. Where did he come from? Nobody knows. How was he made? Still, nobody knows. Taller than a house, the Iron Man stood at the top of the cliff on the very brink in the darkness. The wind swayed through his iron fingers. His great iron head shaped like a dustpan, but as big as a bedroom. He slowly turned right. He slowly turned left. His iron ears turned this way, that way. He was hearing the sea. His head and eyes glowed white, then red, then infrared. He was searching the sea. Never before the Iron Man had seen the sea. He swayed in the strong wind that pressed against his back. He swayed forward on the brink of the high cliff. And his right foot, his enormous right foot, lifted up, stepped into space. The Iron Man stepped forward off the cliff into nothingness. Crash!
The BFG by Roald. "If you will listen carefully, I will try to explain," said the BFG. "But your brain is so full of bugwaffles, I doubt you would ever understand." "I'll do my best," Sophie said patiently. "Very well then. When you is drinking this cookie drink of yours," said the BFG, "it is going straight down into your tummy. Is that right? Or is it left?" "It's right," Sophie said. "And the bubbles is also going into your tummy? Right or left?" "Right again," Sophie said. "And the bubbles is fizzing upwards?" "Of course," Sophie said. "Which means," said the BFG, "that they all come swish-flipping up their throat and out of their mouth and make a fulsome, belchy burp." "That is often true," Sophie said. "But what's wrong with the little burp now and again? It's sort of fun." "Burping is fearsome," the BFG said. "Us giants is never doing it." "But with your drinks," Sophie said. What was it you called it?" "Frobscottle," said the BFG. "But frobscottle," Sophie said, blushing a little. "If they go down instead of up, they'll be coming out somewhere else with an even louder and ruder noise." "A whisk popper!" cried the BFG, beaming at her. "Us giants is making whisk poppers all the time. Whisk popping is a sign of happiness. It is music in our ears. You surely is not telling me that a little whisk popping is forbidden amongst you human beings?"
Demon Dentist
by David Williams. Something horribly horrible. Something dreadfully dreadful. An eyeball. The long, silky nerve at the back was still attached. It was flailing about as if it were a tail, making the eyeball twitch and wriggle on the mattress like a tadpole on dry land. Ah! Screamed Raj. Alfie, who as we know thought of himself as being a tiny bit braver than the newsgate, screamed too. Ah! The boy's scream was even louder. It's an eyeball! Screamed Raj. I know, said Alfie, but it's an actual eyeball! Yes, let's all try and stay calm, said the boy. This is a clue. Alfie slowly and steadily brought the candle down to examine the eyeball. It was unusually large. It was the size of a ping pong ball. The eyeball had to be from a large animal, or perhaps a giant. Just then the eyeball turned and looked straight at him. Ah! Screamed Alfie. Ah! Screamed Raj. It looked at me, spluttered the boy. It looked at me straight in the eye. Thump, thump, thump. Someone was banging on the wall.
Those were our lower key stage 2 readers for that category, so I'd now like to invite Shamil up to come and read while the judges deliberate the lower key stage 2 category.
Letters to the Lighthouse, written by Emma Carroll. Down on the beach, there was no sign of Penny or the others. All I could see were the white tops of the waves as they crashed on the shingle. What shall we do first? Esther shouted above the wind. Flash your torch out to the sea, I yelled back, because it seemed like a sensible idea. Out there somewhere in the storm was Suki. She might be able to hear us or see us. Though I was freezing and frightened, the thought kept me going. It was Esther who spotted it first. Light! Over to the left! Coming in fast! My heart leaped to my throat. There was sound of scrambling on the shingle as Esther rushed the water's edge. In my torch beam, I glimpsed her knee-deep in the shallows. Can't see anything more, she called. Whatever it was has gone. False alarm, I breathed out, almost. Light! Esther screamed again. Light! I said light! Sure enough, there in the blackness was a light. It was bobbing about wildly, dropping, rising, dropping again. The sea was so huge we kept losing sight of it. They're coming in, I yelled, straining on tiptoe. Over to the right, look! The light vanished again. They're heading for the rocks, Esther cried. That's not the rocks, that's the quicksands. She didn't hear me. She set off half running, half scrambling along the beach. They're coming in, I yelled, straining on tiptoe. Over to the right, look! The light vanished again. They're heading for the rocks, Esther cried. That's not the rocks, that's the quicksands. She didn't hear me. She set off half running, half scrambling along the beach, heading straight towards the groin. I tried to shout, wait, don't go any further, but the wind snatched my words away.
I would also like to invite Andy up to come and play a piece on the piano.
the Philosopher's Stone. Now, don't forget that nice wrist movement we've been practicing, squeaked Professor Flitwick, perched on top of his pile of books as usual. Swish and flick. Remember, swish and flick. And saying the magic words properly is very important too. Never forget Wizard Burrowfield, who said S instead of F and found himself on the floor with a buffalo on his chest. It was very difficult. Harry and Seamus swished and flicked, but the feather they were supposed to be sending skywards just lay on the desktop. Seamus got so impatient that he prodded it with his wand and set fire to it. Harry had to put it out with his hat. Ron, at the next table, wasn't having much more luck. "Wingardium Leviosa!" he shouted, waving his long arms like a windmill. "You're saying it wrong." Harry heard Hermione snap. "It's Wingardium Leviosa. Make the Ga sound nice and long." "You do it then if you're so clever," Ron snarled. Hermione rolled up the sleeves of the gown, flicked her wand, and said, "Wingardium Leviosa." The feather rose off the desk and hovered about 4 feet above their heads. "Thank you."
Peter Pan by Walt Disney. In a pirate ship anchored near the island of Neverland, Captain Hook faced his greatest enemy, Peter Pan. The captain was furious at Peter for having rescued Wendy, her brothers, and the lost boys. After safely installing the children in the crow's nest, Peter flew down the yardam. "Fly, fly, you coward!" cried Hook. "Coward?" said Peter. "Me?" Hook started to climb the rigging. "You wouldn't dare fight old Hook man to man? You'd fly away like a cowardly sparrow." "Nobody called me a coward," Peter replied. "I'll fight you man to man with one hand tied behind my back." Hook joined Peter on the yardam and locked ablaze with him. As they stood, face to face, dagger to sword, Hook said mischievously, "You won't fly." Wendy called down from the crow's nest, "Don't do it, Peter, it's a trick." "I give my word," said Peter. Hook shouted, "Then let's have at it." The duel began. Hook pushed Peter off the yardam, but Peter grabbed the edge just in time. Peter pulled himself back onto the yardam and the fight continued.
Dinosaur Cove by Red Stone. The sudden noise came out of the sky behind them, and Jamie turned to see the scarlet-headed bird, the size of a small aeroplane, swooping towards them. "Watch out!" he yelled to Tom. They ducked as silver-grey leathery wings swept right above their heads. Tom followed the bird with binoculars. "It's flying over the jungle. It's settling on a tree by the lagoon," he told Jamie. "Take a look. It's huge." He thrust the binoculars at Jamie. Jamie looked towards the lagoon, and his jaw dropped open. He couldn't believe his eyes. "What can you see?" Tom asked. "I can see," Jamie spoke carefully, "2 rhinos by themselves of one big horn. They have 3, which means," he whispered, "that they're not rhinos, they're triceratops." "What?" said Tom. "Let me see." Jamie passed by the binoculars. "You're right," Tom said. "And that huge bird is not a bird. It's a pterodactyl." The boys looked at each other in amazement. "Dinosaurs!"
The Witches by Dahl. "Down with children! Do them in! Boil their bones and fry their skin! Bish them, squish them, bash them, mash them, break them, shake them, slash them, smash them! Offer chocks with magic powder, say, 'Eat up,' then say it louder. Cram them full of sticky eats, send them home still guzzling sweets, and in the morning, little fools go marching off to separate schools. A girl feels sick and goes all pale. She yells, "Hey look, I've grown a tail." A boy who's standing next to her screams, "Help, I think I'm growing fur." Another shouts, "We look like freaks, there's whiskers growing on our cheeks." A boy who was extremely tall cries out, "What's wrong? I'm growing small." 4 tiny legs begin to sprout from everybody, round about and all at once, all in a trice. There are no children, only mice. All, in every school is mice galore, all running round the schoolroom floor, and all the poor demented teachers is yelling, "Hey, who are these creatures?" They stand upon the desks and shout, "Get out, you filthy mice, get out!" Dead by David Williams. Suddenly, Queenie swerved sharply to avoid a head-on collision with a Ford Capri, but the Mini was going far too fast. As it turned, it rolled over and over and over. Boom, boom, boom! Dad's car was now upside down in the middle of the track. The Jaguar behind smashed into the Mini, sending the car flying through the air. It crashed to the ground again. Bang! Smashing it into pieces. "No, Dad, no!" shouted Frank from the top of the tower of cars. Down on the track was a mighty pile-up as the cars couldn't stop in time. Smash, bang, crash! There was the sound of metal crunching into metal and glass smashing. Kaboom! One of the cars exploded into a fireball. "No!" shouted Frank. The boy raced down the tower of cars and ran through the crowds to his dad's car. An air ambulance hovered overhead before landing on the track. Frank held his father's hand through the wreckage as the fireman tried to cut him out of the car. "What are you doing here, mate?" whispered Dad. "You should be at home, in bed." "I'm sorry, Dad," replied Frank. "I'm going to need the biggest huggle when I'm out of this." "Everything's going to be all right, Dad, I promise." But it was a promise the boy couldn't keep.
Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien.
"We wants it, we needs it, must have the precious. They stole it from us, sneaky little hobbitses, wicked, tricksy, false." "No, not the monster." "Yes, precious, false. They will cheat you, hurt you, lie." "Master's my friend." "You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you." Not listening, not listening. "You're a liar and a thief." "Nope." "Murderer." "Go away, go away." "I hate you, I hate you." "Where would you be without me?" "Go, go. I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me." "Not anymore." "What did you say?" "Master looks after us now. We don't need you." "What?" "Leave now and never come back." "No. Leave now and never come back." "Leave now and never come back." We told him to go away, and away he goes, precious. Gone, gone, gone. Smeagol is free.
That was our last reader for the competition, so I'd like to invite Jay Shinat to come and read his non-finalist piece. At this point, the judges can deliberate. Well, we're going to do this, and then Andy's going to play the piano.
Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling. He dived again, and Cho, thinking he'd seen the snitch, tried to fall. Harry pulled out the dive very sharply. She hurtled downwards. He rose fast as a bullet once more, and then saw it. For the third time, the snitch was glittering way above the pitch at the Ravenclaw end. He accelerated, so many people loved it show. He was winning, gaining on the snitch with every second. Then, oh! Screamed Cho, pointing. Distracted, Harry looked down. 3 Dementors, 3 tall black hooded Dementors, were looking up at him. He didn't stop to think, plunging a hand down the neck of Shroud. He whipped out his wand and roared, "Expecto Patronum!" Something silver-white, something enormous, erupted from the end of his wand. He knew it had shot directly at the Dementors, but didn't pause to watch. His mind still miraculously clear. He looked ahead. He was nearly there. He stretched out the hand still grasping his wand and just managed to close his finger over the small, struggling snitch.
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to everybody who's taken part. Thank you to our non-finalist readers for coming up and sharing your Prose reading with you. And can I also just say, Andy, a huge thank you to you. It was absolutely lovely to listen to your music today, and you could really sort of feel the sort of actual anticipation of your next song when you came back on. Your first performance was fantastic. The second one was absolutely beautiful. So thank you, Andy. Can we give a round of applause please to Andy and our two non-finalists?
I'm just going to take this out here because I'd like to face our finalists today as I speak to them. I was so impressed with everything that you did today, guys. It takes a lot of courage, as Miss Simi mentioned earlier. It takes a lot of bravery, and it can be quite scary to stand up in front of a large group of people And I thought the way that you delivered your readings today, you spoke with such poise, maturity, you used your tone and intonation of your voice. I could really imagine being in those stories. And of course, we're celebrating Book Week this week, and it was fantastic to see such a range of books and different authors. And I think we all owe it to our finalists today to give them a huge round of applause before we announce the winners. So well done to everybody. But of course, there does need to be some winners to be announced. Now, I have to say I'm quite pleased, really, in a way that it's not me having to make this decision, because it's been a really high standard of competition here today. I believe that the judges are making and finalising their decisions now. So I'm going to pass over to Miss Simi, and Miss Simi is going to announce the runner-up for Lower Key Stage 2, the runner-up for Upper Key Stage 2, and the overall winner, I believe, for the competition. So I'm going to hand over now to Miss Simi, and she's going to announce the winners.
Runner-up Lower Key Stage 2 winner is Olivia. Congratulations, Olivia. Runner-up Key Stage 2 winner, Upper Key Stage 2 winner, sorry, is Rania. Our overall competition winner, who wins the Prose Reading Competition Cup, is Sarah. Congratulations to all our winners. Mr. Chris is just going to say a last few closing words. Thank you.
Okay, well, congratulations to all of our runners-up and winner. I think it was an incredibly tough decision, but I think nobody can have any arguments there with Sarah. You did a fantastic performance. Okay, so I'd just like to close this afternoon's event. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody here for attending. You've been a fantastic audience today. You've really engaged and you've been really motivating for our finalists. So thank you everybody for your participation this afternoon. I'd also like to say a huge thank you as well to our judging panel. Thank you to Mr. Hamish, thank you to Aidan, and of course thank you very much, Tunku. We've been absolutely honoured to have you here, and we really hope that you can come back and judge us again for next year's competition. Could we please have a round of applause for our judges, please? Tunku, would you like to come and say a few words? Thank you. I'd like to invite you up. Thank you.
Dr. Glenn Moody, Mr. Chris Davies, ladies, gentlemen, and boys and girls. Well, I was very pleased to preside at with the judges at this primary school prose competition. I think it was wonderful. I was very impressed with all the speakers today. They were poised, they were confident, and they look good on stage. I'm glad to see that this is encouraged in the school, because I feel that public speaking and speaking in public is very important for the young to start, because when they grow older, they can influence other people with the way they speak and how they speak. If they speak well, then maybe they will be listened to. It was really a very, very interesting morning. I really enjoyed all the prose reading. There was proficiency, there was dedication in their voice, there was enthusiasm, they had good expression, and I'm sure that we all can be proud that they have achieved what they achieved today is something that we can really be proud of, and they should be proud too of their achievements. Of course, there are always a few top scorers, but I'd like to congratulate all of those that are on stage today, because I think they were all winners. They were wonderful. They did a great job, and I think they should continue with what they have, with this energy that they have, and put it into action later on. Thank you very much for inviting me here this morning. I enjoyed listening to all this, and I think for all those that got the awards, congratulations and well done, and to all those that came on stage as winners, well done to you too. God bless you all.
And Tunky, we have a small gesture of our appreciation. Olin, Sarah and Rania have got a very small gift for you. Thank you very much again for coming, and we hope that you return next year. We also have some gifts for our other judges, so Mr. Hamish and Mr. Aidan, sorry. Maybe Mr. Aidan one day at the school. But hey, Mr. Hamish and Aidan, if you'd like to come up and collect your gifts as well. So can we have a round of applause for Mr. Hamish and Aidan? Yeah. Thank you, judges. Okay, and there's just one final thank you that I would like to share with everybody. As we all know, Miss Vanessa and Miss Simi have been putting together a wonderful sort of book week and a half for us this week. But I wanted to say a special thank you to Miss Simi, who has put hours and hours of work into organising and preparing to help students and staff get to the point where we've been able to watch and listen to 10 fantastic speakers here today. So can we please put our hands together and say thank you to Miss Simi?